The sound of a phone notification is the most ordinary thing in the world. That tiny chime, that little vibration on the nightstand, it's nothing, right? But when it dragged me out of sleep at 3:17 in the morning, it felt different. The air was too still, my skin already cold with sweat before I even rolled over to check. I blinked against the glow of the screen, eyes adjusting, and froze. The message wasn't from a friend or a spam bot or even some random wrong number. It was from me, my own number. The text was short, almost lazy, but every word pressed down on me like a weight. Don't look out the window. That was it. No context, no follow-up. Just those 5 words, glowing there in the dark, waiting for me to react. And here's the part I can't explain. My body listened before my brain did. I couldn't bring myself to glance toward the glass. Not once, not even a flicker of my eyes. It was as though something inside me already knew what I might see. I wish I'd had the strength to delete it, to throw the phone, to forget. But instead I just lay there, clutching the device like a lifeline, replaying those words over and over in my head. If I had listened, really listened, maybe I wouldn't be writing this now. But you need to understand how it all began. The trouble with my phone didn't start that night. It started days earlier. It was small at first, harmless. That's how it always begins, right? My phone has always been my tether to the world. Emails for work, group chats full of memes, mindless scrolling when I couldn't sleep. Nothing unusual. Nothing sinister. Just the ordinary hum of modern life. But then the little things started. One morning I woke to find the screen glowing with a notification. 17 unread messages. I unlocked it, expecting spam or maybe a flood of group texts. Instead, the inbox was empty. Completely blank. I laughed it off. Probably just a bug, I told myself. Phones glitch all the time. Still, something about it left me uneasy. My thumb hovered over the refresh button longer than I'd like to admit, waiting for something to appear, for the messages to materialize. Nothing did. Then came the battery. I'd charge it overnight, but by the time I left for work, it would already be at 60%. Sometimes lower. Once I watched it drop 5% in under a minute, while the phone just sat there on the table, black screen, no apps open. A coworker joked, "Guess it's time for a new phone." I laughed along, but deep down I wasn't so sure. Something about the way the screen warmed under my hand, almost pulsing like a heartbeat, told me this wasn't normal wear and tear. And I was right. Because the first impossible text was waiting for me just days later. The first real message came on a Tuesday night. I was sprawled on the couch, half watching a show, half scrolling through nothing. The phone buzzed, and I assumed it was another junk text. But when I opened it, I froze. The text read, "Fix your posture. You're hunched right now." And I was. I straightened instantly, pulse hammering in my ears. My first thought was that it had to be a prank. Someone messing with me. But the sender ID wasn't a number at all. It was blank. Just an empty field where digits should have been. I told myself not to respond. That's what they say, right? Don't feed the trolls. But before I could even lock the screen, the typing bubbles appeared. Not after I said anything. Not waiting for me, just typing. A second message slid in. "Don't get up. Stay seated." My chest tightened. I glanced around my living room, scanning for a hidden camera, a reflection, anything. Nothing. Then another message came, calm and casual, like an old friend making conversation. "Your curtains are open. You should close them. It's rude to make me stare." The phone slipped in my hands. I didn't move to the window, didn't want to prove it right. Instead, I whispered into the silence of my apartment, "Who are you?" The reply was instant. "Closer than you think." That's when curiosity finally gave way to fear. Because whoever or whatever was on the other end wasn't waiting for me to play along. It already knew everything. At first, I thought maybe someone had hacked my phone. That would have been the sane explanation. A hacker can spoof numbers, send creepy messages, make your life miserable. But what happened next? No hacker could pull off. The texts started arriving from people I knew. My mom, my best friend, even my boss. Normal names, familiar faces from my contacts list. Except the words weren't theirs. One from my mom's contact said, "Don't eat the leftovers. They've been touched." When I called her, groggy and confused, she swore she hadn't texted me at all. Another from my best friend read, "Stop pacing. You're making it nervous." I hadn't told him I'd been pacing, but I had, right then. The worst was the one from my boss. Just 3 words, check the mirror. My stomach dropped, but the final straw came later that night. My phone buzzed, and when I looked down, I felt my skin crawl. The sender wasn't Mom or my friend or my boss, it was me. My own entry in my contacts list. My name, my number, even my profile photo grinning up at me. The message was simple. No riddles this time. No games. Answer me or I'll knock. I stared at it frozen, waiting for the sound, and when I heard the faintest tap on the glass of my bedroom window, I knew the phone wasn't glitched. Something else was wearing my voice, my contacts, my life like a mask. It happened when I opened my gallery by accident, just swiping too fast. At first I thought I'd pocket-snapped a few blurry shots, but then my breath caught. They weren't random photos. They were of me. The first showed me curled under the blankets, mouth slightly open, dead asleep. The angle was wrong, though. Too high, like it came from the corner of the room near the ceiling. The next was the same night, closer, as if whoever held the camera had leaned in, almost brushing my face. I flipped through them, stomach twisting. Dozens of shots, different nights, same perspective. All saved in perfect sequence, auto-dated and time-stamped between 2 and 4. The vibration started as a steady hum, but within seconds it grew violent, rattling against the nightstand like it wanted to shake itself apart. The screen bled white light through the cracks of its casing, brighter than it had any right to be. Then the texts came, one after another, each one screaming across the glass in jagged capitals, "Let me in, Buzz, let me in, Buzz, let me in." The rhythm was unbearable, and then I realized it wasn't just the phone. From the window behind me came a knock. Soft at first, then harder, each one perfectly synchronized with the violent buzz of my phone. The pane trembled like something outside was matching the tempo, demanding entry. My breath turned shallow, ragged. I snatched the phone and hurled it against the wall. It shattered, the screen splintering into a spiderweb of cracks. The buzzing cut off, finally, mercifully. But the knocking didn't stop. It grew louder, heavier, a pounding that shook the glass in its frame. I pressed my hands to my ears, but the silence didn't last. Through the fractured screen, the phone flickered back to life, fractured light leaking out like an open wound. And then, through broken shards of digital static, one last message crawled across the display. "Look behind you. I thought it was over when the phone died." When the shards lay scattered across the floor like broken teeth, I swore I'd cut the cord for good. I haven't owned a phone in weeks, but I still get notifications. Phantom buzzes crawl through my pocket when I'm not carrying anything. At night, I hear that faint vibration against the nightstand, though the surface is bare. Sometimes I jolt awake reaching for a device that isn't there. It's worse in reflections. Black glass, dead monitors, even the microwave door. They all catch me when I'm not ready. My reflection blinks wrong, a beat too slow, like it's trying to sync but never quite matches. My cat won't step into the room anymore. She freezes at the doorway, fur bristling, eyes locked on the corners where the shadows lean too far. Once I caught my own shadow moving after me, just half a second late, like a video buffering. I don't need a phone anymore. Whatever it was, it's still here, still watching. And the worst part? It doesn't need a screen to reach me now. I need you to understand something. This story isn't just a confession, it's a transmission. The signal doesn't live in my phone anymore. It lives in memory and retelling, in the simple act of paying attention. And now you've heard it. That buzz in your pocket, that flicker in your screen? Don't dismiss it. Pets notice first. Watch if they avoid your devices, if they hiss at corners where nothing stands. I thought I was safe by destroying the phone, but the signal doesn't care about hardware. It cares about awareness. The more you think about it, the sharper it gets, the closer it comes. So if your phone lights up tonight, don't check it, because if it knows your attention, it already has your number.